Hello, and welcome to the April Sings a Lot podcast, where I share a story and a song and invite you to sing along.
This is my story. This is my song.
Welcome to our 7th installment in the series on love. Today I'll start with a scripture from 1 John chapter 4, verse 17 and 18. God is love. When we take up permanent residence in a life of love, we live in God and God lives in us. This way, love has the run of the house, becomes at home and mature in us, so that we're free of worry on Judgment Day. Our standing in the world is identical with Christ's. There's no room in love for fear. Well-formed love banishes fear. Since fear is crippling, a fearful life, fear of death, fear of judgment, is one not yet fully formed in love. I have highlighted the phrase, love has the run of the house, becomes at home and mature in us. Recently, our son has realized that when people are pulling into driveways in the neighborhood, then that means they are at home, like the vehicle has come back to its residence. And so we'll be walking around the neighborhood or playing in the yard, and a car will pull into a driveway nearby, and he will say, "Oh, they're home," or "Oh, he's home."
Home. Say again. Home.
And it's just such an innocent little phrase that he says, and it makes me so happy because when you feel at home, that means you feel like you belong. And so this phrase that love has the run of the house and becomes at home and mature in us, that has made me want love to feel at home in my house. Like, Lord, let my home be filled with love. Anyway, I will also share, since I'm talking about neighborhood, Matthew chapter 22, verses 37 and 39. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and mind, and you shall love your neighbor as yourself. All of these scriptures and insights are in a document available for download at aprilsingsalot.com/love.
Softly and tenderly, Jesus is calling for you and for me. See on the portals, he's waiting and watching for you and for me. Come home, you who are weary, come home. Earnestly, tenderly, Jesus is calling, oh sinner, come home. Why should we tarry when Jesus is pleading for you and for me? Why should we linger and heed not his mercies for you and for me? Come home, you who are weary, come home. Earnestly, tenderly, Jesus is calling, oh sinner, come home. and for me. Come home, come home, you who are weary, come home, earnestly, tenderly, Jesus is calling, calling, oh sinner, come home. Oh, for the wonderful love he has promised, promised for you and for me. Though we have sinned, he has mercy and pardon, pardon for you and for me. Come home, come home, you who are weary, come home, earnestly, tenderly, Jesus is calling, calling, oh sinner, come home.
That concludes another episode of the April Sings a Lot podcast. All of the scriptures that I'm using as a part of this series on love have been taken from one of 3 translations. The translations that I'm using are the Message, the Voice, and New International Version. If you would like all of these scriptures in one place for your own reference, I invite you over to aprilsingsalot.com/love, and you'll have the opportunity to download this entire document that includes everything from each of our episodes about love, the scriptures as well as the commentary. And if you would like to drop me a note and let me know your thoughts on this, my email is april@aprilsingsalot.com. And in closing, I wish for you strength for today and a bright hope for tomorrow.